What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Trash or Pass. I know it's been a long time. Let's not get into that. Let's just get into this episode, Trash or Pass. And you guys saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, but I'm going over the Baitsanity Explorer Gill.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Oh my gosh! It's a whale! 9/11.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's.
Now this one right here, this colorway, color scheme is called Jungle Perch. I had a bluegill as well. Steve has that now, but as you can see, I've got the paddle tail on there. We're going to kind of get into the tails. We'll get into the build of this bait and all that stuff. But if you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Alex. I'm Oklahoma's worst angler, and this is Trash or Pass. And Trash or Pass is pretty simple. It is just an impression of mine, my opinion, over a specific bait. And that's what it is. It's my opinion, and it's whether I like it, whether I don't, if I think it's trash, or if I think it passes. That's the simple premise behind Trash or Pass. So, the Baitsanity Explorer Gill. This is a bait that I've had for a long time. I had the bluegill colorway for a very long time, for probably close to a year, and fished it off and on. Never really had much luck with it. I was very confused because I got the sinking version. However, it did not sink, and I was, again, confused by that. So, let's talk about the build of this and how it's designed and why the sinking version did not sink, essentially. So, as you can see, on this profile right here, those gills, okay, they talk about, anatomically correct, the gill profile, the profile of the bait itself, but these gills, the way that they work very similar to, say, like a gantarelle, and how the fins, the pec fins on the side are angled to help the bait swim down. That's what these gills are meant to do. Now, as you fish this more, it becomes more of a slow float. So it will swim down and it becomes a slow float. The sinking version, and I believe the floating version too, they send tungsten strips. So they send weight strips along with these, and I just realized that mine fell off because before this, I had two of them on there. I had a lead strip and I had a tungsten strip on there because I felt like that gave me the best slow sink that I was looking for at the time. However, this past time taking it out, taking this guy in particular, I had just one of the tungsten strips on there, one of the bigger ones. I don't know what the weights are. They go by grams, and I don't know. It might be a 1/8 ounce, the bigger tungsten strip that's in there, but it did help it kind of get down and continue to sink. As you guys fish these, as you swim them, as the more they're in the water, they're going to take on water, and they will become a slow sink, is what I'm getting at. But on this bait, you've got swiveling hook hangers. You can see those right there. So swiveling hook hangers, the importance of a swiveling hook hanger is so when you have a fish that is, hooked up onto a bigger bait, when you don't have swiveling hook hangers, they can leverage those split rings and leverage the hook to twist onto the bait, and then they've got more leverage to shake that hook from the bait not moving, with them thrashing. So swiveling hook hangers are nice. We're actually seeing them in a lot more of production style swim baits, which is great. The other thing about them, I don't know. I think their owner, they just released something that you can actually now buy, the stock hardware that comes on there, but the hooks are sticky, okay? Now, on the hinge, it is a single hinge because it is a glide bait. Not considered, it is a glide bait. You've got dampeners on there, which help to quiet the sound so you don't get the same clack that you would, say, out of other glide baits, which I've got plenty behind me. I'm looking for one in front of me, but the dampening sound just kind of makes it just a little more subtle. Now, one thing about this bait is you can see the hinge, the angle of the hinge right there. the more of an angle that you have on a glide bait like this right here, the more tight it's going to be. Now, I think Milliken covered that when he was talking about, that video kind of took the world by storm about like dremeling your flow glider. But if you don't know, like I said, those hooks are sticky. If you don't know, the more travel that hinge has, the tighter the action the bait is going to have, which means it's going to be, for lack of a better term, baitman, choppier. It's going to be choppier. It's going to be more erratic. It's going to be tighter. You're not going to have as wide of a glide. It's going to be tighter. So areas to throw this bait, like around docks, I think would be really good. I like to fish mine around grass or around stumps, around standing timber rather. Tight quarters. Tight quarters, I'm going to want more of that choppier style bait, that one that's got more of that angle like I was talking about. Now, the Baitsanity family of baits, the Explorer the Explorer Glide and the Explorer Gill, they have interchangeable tails. So this is the hatch match paddle tail, and the Explorer Gill out of the package comes with 2 regular flat tails and another flat tail that is chartreuse tipped, is what it is. So you're getting 3 total tails in that package. These other tails, like the atom tail or the paddle tail, these are a separate expense. These are a separate cost, a separate purchase. I highly recommend you get the paddle tail. Now, the reason I say that is what I found with that paddle tail is I don't have to necessarily work that bait, choppy. Like I said, choppy, like working my handle to get that bait really going side to side. What I can do when I have this paddle tail on there is I can actually do it at a steady, slow retrieve. And if you do it at a steady, slow retrieve, you'll see that this bait just travels forward, but that tail will kick. So this bait is literally just moving forward and the tail will kick back and forth. Rather than giving that S motion or, that choppier style glide, if you reel it slow and you watch, you'll see that this thing will travel just straight and that tail will kick. So you get kind of that action of a soft bait or a softer swim bait with a paddle tail or a boot tail, and that tail is just kicking. Now the nice thing when you are working this more erratic, more choppy, giving it more action to it, that paddle tail really gives a full secondary action. What it does, instead of like the regular tail when you are chopping it side to side, it kind of will stop. This paddle tail allows it to continue to travel. It's not so much of a wider glide, but it will do more of a revolution, almost a full 360 if you really know how to fish the bait. So that's why I like the paddle tail. I like the secondary action. I like the fact that I can just steady, slow wind and get just that paddle tail kicking. The other thing about this, split ring does come on there. I would say tie onto the split ring. If you do not like split rings, if you like snaps, throw a snap. Now, the setup that I'm throwing that on is normally on something like this guy right here. So this is the 710 moderate fast ghost code, 1 to 4 ounce is what it's rated. Now it's 1 to 4 ounce, so it is a medium heavy swim bait rod. And being 710, I'll throw it on like a 7.6, 1 to 4 ounce as well, and a 2 to 300 size reel. This is a 300 size reel. It's a Okuma Komodo, and I would not ever go over 20-pound test on these baits. On that bait in particular, that heavy a line, anything heavier, you can kind of hinder the action of the bait itself. I think the sweet spot is around like 18, even 16. Really just kind of depends on like the actual line that you're using. Some 16-pound fluoro is what I'm talking about. I apologize. I throw everything on fluoro. I don't throw copoly anymore. I don't throw monofilament. I throw everything on fluorocarbon. So 18 to 20 pound is what I would recommend. And again, the nice thing about this bait right here is you don't necessarily need that heavier dedicated swim bait setup. You can throw that on a 7.6 heavy flipping rod. Heavy fast, it might be too much tip for those treble hooks. You could throw it on a heavier cranking rod. You can do that too. But I have them, so that's what I throw it on. Now, one other thing that I would say is I would never direct tie, meaning take the split ring off and direct tie to the line tie right there. I would not do that. And the reason for that is when you do that, you're giving that bait less travel. So it's not going to have the same kind of flow, the same kind of glide that it normally would, say with, tying onto the split ring or putting a snap on there. Now, for you snap guys, if you're going to put a snap on there, I wouldn't say put it on the split ring. I would say just move the split ring out of the way and put the snap onto the direct tie right there, which I did. So I said earlier in the video, I've had this bait for a long time, right? I had the bluegill for a long time. I've had the jungle perch for not even longer, but a long time as well. And I have fished them and had really just like no success. And that's nothing towards the bait. That was everything towards me and my dedication to throwing that. I just had other baits that I was throwing more, that I was more confident in, but I did finally go out and catch on this bait this past weekend. And I think fall, the way the weather is right now, it's perfect. It is perfect for throwing a glide bait right now. And over the grass, well, you guys will kind of see, I'll show you a couple of the clips of, my cast to catch on this bait.
They're like Home Alone. Guys! Oh, we're here.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah!
Right on.
Yeah! Explorer Gill.
Noise.
Finally!
I'll get that.
I never caught one on the bluegill one.
Boot tail or no?
Yep. Same setup as yours. Yeah!
Very nice, very nice.
Oh. That is a skin hook. Also. That.
Bigger ones, man.
Wow. That just popped right out. Yeah, I know. I wish it was bigger too. But finally.
What's that? That was weird.
Yeah.
That was a fucking stupid lucky to find that one up in the water and dress right there. These motherfuckers like,
Oh. Okay, well, I was on my phone.
shut up. A one-handed one again?
Yeah.
Fuck outta here.
He smashed it, dude.
What is it on?
The Explorer Gill. Smashed it. It's gotta be, dude. They're not the biggest ones, but got another one. Back to back. Back to back. I lied. He's not big. Jeez. Is that a catfish? Is that bait? He's no bigger than the bait itself. Sure wish there was an eagle around here that wanted to eat. feel like that is a prime example of what you have said so many times. The fish don't know how big their mouth is. So what I was doing there is I was actually fishing like heavier grass, and what I was doing in particular was working that bait more erratic. Okay, I was chopping it, I was pulling it, and I was letting it pause. And in that pause, it was suspending and slow sinking. And every single one of those fish that I had hit that day hit it on the pause. You're getting their reaction, you're getting their attention. The beauty of that is, well, for me that day, being at the back of the boat, is I didn't see how many fish were actually following it, but I was fishing it in a way that I was comfortable and fishing it in a way that I was confident, so I wasn't sitting there worrying about, you know, is this fish going to bite? Is this fish, you know, going to commit? Anything like that. I was literally just fishing it like I would. I was fishing it more erratic. Now, I had fished it plenty that day. I had fished it, you know, with a steady, slow retrieve, letting that paddle tail just kick. I had swim it or fished it at, you know, just a steady S flow. I had also fished it very erratic, very fast. That's another nice thing about that bait is you can burn this thing and it tracks extremely well. But I just had to let the fish tell me what they wanted. They wanted it on the pause. They wanted something more erratic. And then when it just stopped, it was like it gave that fish that time and that split second to say, okay, I need to eat that. I need to eat it right now before he takes off again. I think that's what was triggering the bite. I really don't know for sure because, again, I was at the back of the boat. I wasn't looking at the live scope, and I wasn't able to see how those fish were reacting. I just let them tell me. So, in closing, Baitsanity Explorer Gill. It's a solid pass, A+. I love this bait. And I'm not saying that I love this bait because now all of a sudden I caught fish on it. I love this bait when I very first got it, and well, not when I very first got it because, like I said earlier, I was very confused and I wasn't sure how to fish it and what needed to be done. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Add a weight strip to it. If you get the sinking version, add one of the tungsten strips, add 2, figure out the sink rate that you like, keep them off of there if you want to be a slow float. If you're beating the banks, that's probably the best way to go, honestly. But yeah, I think it's solid. I love that bait for a long time, and I'm just more pumped now that I finally got bit on it. And honestly, I think this jungle perch is a sleeper. I think the jungle perch is just killer. It looks bassy to me. It looks bassy in the water, and you guys know me. I love bass patterns. I love bass eaters. So, with that being said, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate every single one of you. Sorry it's been a while. But if you're looking forward to more Trash or Pass, that's actually what I'm sitting here doing. I'm going to be doing a few more. I'm hoping to have at least 3 coming out in the next 3 weeks. I'd like to do 1 a week and just kind of compile some footage that I have and do some more. And the next one is going to be over probably the swim bait that took the world by storm all over again, and that is the Spro Chad Shad. So, stay tuned, guys. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you feel so inclined. Thanks again. I appreciate every single one of you once again. I'll see you next time we're on the water.
I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they don't let me down.